For years, Emily believed her marriage was close to perfect, or so it seemed from the outside. She had spent 7 years with Mark, building what looked like a strong foundation made of trust, mutual admiration, and a love that promised to stand the test of time. Together, they shared a lovely home, steady careers, and 2 amazing children. Yet despite this picture of stability, Emily couldn't shake a sense of emptiness that had begun to settle in. It wasn't something she could quite explain, just a quiet ache, a spark that had vanished. Mark, however, found comfort in the familiar rhythm of their life and saw no reason to disrupt it with change. That's when the cracks began to show. One evening, while Mark was away on a business trip, Emily felt especially alone and restless. In that vulnerable moment, she found herself reconnecting online with Daniel, an old acquaintance. He was clever, engaging, and most of all, he noticed her in ways Mark no longer did. At first, the exchange was harmless, just casual light comments. But gradually, their interactions became more frequent and personal. Daniel had a way with words, making her feel seen, attractive, and wanted. It was intoxicating, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. When Mark returned home from his trip, he immediately sensed a distance in Emily. He gently asked if something was bothering her, but she dismissed his concern, blaming exhaustion. Still, something in her demeanor told him things were not as they seemed. He didn't want to believe it, but his instincts told him otherwise. A week later, Mark came home late from work and saw Emily sitting on the couch, clutching her phone. The way she quickly hid the screen stirred something unsettling in him. "Emily," he said, his voice steady but serious. "We need to talk." She froze. Mark wasn't the type to confront without reason. That alone made her heart race. This wasn't about house chores or misplaced laundry. His eyes searched hers, digging for the truth. "I know you've been chatting with someone online," he said quietly. "I don't know the full story, but I need you to be honest with me. Is there more going on?" Her heart dropped into her stomach. She hadn't expected him to find out. Not yet. The guilt clenched her throat. "It's nothing," she murmured. "Just a few messages. You don't need to worry." Mark wasn't convinced. His expression hardened. "Emily, I'm telling you now. If you continue down this road, you'll destroy everything we've built. I've always trusted you, but I need the truth. I can't live with lies between us." She forced a nervous laugh. "You're being dramatic. We're just friends." But deep inside, she knew that wasn't true. She was already walking a dangerous line. Mark had been loyal, committed to their family, to her, but something inside her couldn't resist the attention Daniel gave. Despite Mark's warning, Emily pushed forward. Weeks passed, and her bond with Daniel only deepened. She met him for coffee in the guise of an innocent catch-up, but their connection was undeniable. They began to spend more time together, stealing glances, sharing quiet moments that felt electric. She was falling for him, fully aware of the wrongness. The secret added a dark kind of thrill. She knew she was betraying Mark, but the pull was too strong. Then everything came crashing down. One evening, after putting the kids to bed, Emily was preparing to see Daniel. She was mid-message, her lips curled in a smile, when Mark unexpectedly walked through the door. He caught the look on her face and the glow of her phone screen. The truth was written in the air between them. His voice trembled. "Emily, what's going on?" There was no hiding anymore. With nowhere to run, she broke down and admitted the truth, everything. The affair, the messages, the meetings, the emotions. Silence swallowed the room. Mark stood there, numb. The betrayal in his eyes was unmistakable. "You've been seeing him, haven't you?" he asked, barely able to get the words out. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry, Mark. I never meant for this to happen. I don't know how it got this far." But apologies couldn't erase the damage. Mark had given her chances to be honest, to stop before it went too far. Now the trust had been shattered, and the marriage lay in ruins. "I can't do this anymore," he said, his voice cold and final. "I gave you an out. I warned you. You chose this." Days turned into weeks. Emily pleaded for forgiveness, reaching out in desperation. But Mark had made his decision. He filed for divorce. They agreed to co-parent, but the bond they once had was beyond repair. As for Daniel, the man who once made her feel alive, he disappeared soon after the affair was exposed. He had never intended to be part of the fallout. Emily was left to face the wreckage alone. Months later, she wakes in an empty house. Each morning greets her with echoes of a life she destroyed. The words Mark spoke that night still haunt her. She cannot undo what's been done. The pain she caused, the trust she broke, it all lingers. And now, she lives with a constant reminder of the path she chose, the warning she ignored, the family she once had, the love she let slip away. Gone, forever,